The elders of the Galactic Council met in their crystal chamber, floating above the rings of Xylos Prime. 7 beings of pure energy, evolved beyond physical form millennia ago, communed in silence. Their thoughts rippled across the cosmos, touching the minds of 1 trillion sentient beings across 50,000 worlds. The humans have achieved warp capability, Elder Tall projected, their essence flickering with concern. The chamber darkened momentarily. The mere mention of Earth sent ripples of unease through the ancient consciousness of the elders. So soon? Elder Mira's form pulsed. Their scientific progress defies all predictive models. It's not just their technology, Elder Kell added. It's their unpredictability. The humans of Earth were an anomaly. In the 12 billion years since the Council had guided evolution across the galaxy, no species had ever developed like them. Most sentient races followed clear, logical paths to advancement, competition giving way to cooperation, violence yielding to harmony, physical form eventually transcending to energy. But humans, they cooperated and competed simultaneously. They created art while making war. They extended compassion to other species, even as they fought among themselves. They were walking contradictions that defied the Council's understanding. We should have intervened during their atomic age, Elder Vex said. Now it's too late. We follow the non-interference directive, Elder Tall reminded them. As with all species, no other species ever developed nuclear weapons before achieving planetary unity, Elder Mira countered. No other species climbed to space while still fighting territorial wars. No other species, Elder Kell said quietly, invented thousands of ways to destroy themselves and then chose not to. That was what truly disturbed the Council. Humans invented terrible weapons, stood at the precipice of self-annihilation, stepped back. Repeatedly, they understood the darkness within themselves and fought against it. It made them unpredictable, dangerous, fascinating. Admiral Tom Reed stood on the bridge of the UES Pathfinder, humanity's first warp-capable vessel. Earth gleamed blue and green in the view screen as they prepared for their maiden voyage. Final checks complete, Admiral, Captain Lisa Blake reported. Engineering reports warp drive at optimal capacity. Reed nodded, feeling the weight of history on his shoulders. Engage when ready, Captain. As Blake gave the order, Reed thought about how far humanity had come. Just 80 years ago, nations pointed nuclear weapons at each other. 50 years ago, the climate wars had nearly ended civilization. 30 years ago, the United Nations had finally transformed into a true planetary government. And now, they were reaching for the stars. The ship hummed as the warp drive engaged. Space spun around them, and Earth vanished from view. The arrival of the Pathfinder, the edge of the Xylosan system, sent alarms through the Council's monitoring network. Humans weren't supposed to achieve this capability for at least another century. They've found us. Elder Vex's essence swirled anxiously. They followed the quantum beacon, Elder Tall corrected, as any sufficiently advanced species would. What do we do? Asked Elder Mira. We follow protocol, Elder Kell decided. First contact must proceed according to established guidelines. The Council dispatched their ambassador vessel, a gleaming ship of living crystal that had welcomed thousands of species to the galactic community over millions of years. Captain Blake stared at the view screen in awe as the crystalline ship approached. My God, she whispered, we're not alone. Admiral Reed swallowed hard. Humanity's greatest question was about to be answered. Open a channel, he ordered. All frequencies. The alien vessel responded immediately, projecting a holographic image of a being made of light. When it spoke, their computers somehow understood. Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Galactic Council. We welcome you to the greater community of sentient beings. Reed stepped forward. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. The light beings seemed to study him. Your arrival was unexpected. Your development has been most unusual. Is that a problem? Reed asked. No, the being replied after a pause. But it is unprecedented. You developed it differently than any species we've encountered. Different how? You embraced both conflict and compassion. You created beauty amid violence. You faced extinction multiple times by your own hand and chose to survive. Ambassador Wren, the Council's physical manifestation, had studied humans extensively but was unprepared for meeting them in person. Their contradictions were even more apparent up close. These humans showed fear yet proceeded anyway. They acknowledged their violent history openly. They spoke of peace while their vessel carried weapons. They asked questions no other species had dared ask during first contact. "Why have you been watching us?" Admiral Reed asked directly. Wren hadn't expected such perception. "We observe all developing worlds, but you've paid special attention to Earth, haven't you?" The human pressed. How did they know? The Council had been careful. "Yes," Wren admitted, "your species it is unique." "Because we're dangerous?" the female captain asked perceptively. "Because you're unpredictable," Wren corrected. "You develop technologies before you're emotionally ready for them. You fight wars while writing poetry. You nearly destroy yourselves, then rebuild stronger. No species has ever followed such a chaotic path to the stars." "It's called being human," Reed said simply. The elders watched the exchange with growing fascination. Humans didn't react with the reverence or awe that most species showed upon meeting the Council. They asked questions. They challenged assumptions. They showed neither fear nor blind acceptance. "They are exactly what we feared," Elder Vex observed. "They are exactly what the galaxy needs," Elder Kell countered. For billions of years, the Council had guided the galaxy toward order and harmony. Perhaps too much order, too much harmony. The humans brought something different, a creative chaos, a resilient spirit that bent and never broke. Yes, they were the only species the Council had ever truly dreaded, not because they would bring destruction, but because they would bring change. And after billions of years of guiding evolution across the stars, perhaps the elders themselves needed to evolve. The galaxy's most advanced species had dreaded only one planet. Now, it would learn from it.